Okay, everyone, before I leave this practice, I just want to give you two comments. The first one regarding the dataset. So you have a DTA file, you have an Excel file, and you have a comma separated values file. Those are three options. Like you can choose to use one of the three. The one that I've been using in the last two videos is actually the CSV file because I just personally prefer to use the comma separated values. It's just less complications. So the one I've been using is the CSV file, and it has this command, which is in sheet using, and then make sure that my path is going to be different than your path, right? Because we're using different computers. So your path is going to be related to your own folders and probably using Rutgers apps. So your path doesn't have to be exact like my path. But we all are going to share, for example, the same file if you're not going to change the name of the file. So, for example, this file, I just noticed that it's not exactly the same name as the one that you have here, because this one has a capital C and capital D, and mine has small letters, but it's just the same. It's a copy of this file. Okay, so this is just one option, but you don't have to use the CSV file. What I have added for you here is the other two options. Okay, so if you prefer to use a DTA file, which is the Stata format dataset, then you're going to use this DTA file. So make sure that when you use the DTA file, I just added this star so that I don't want Stata to execute 3 times importing the data into the software. So whenever you have a star before any like phrase or before any group of sentences, then you're going to make it green, which means that data will not execute. So if you are going to use the DTA file, then the command is going to be use, not in sheet using. So it's going to be use, and then the same path I have, but then I'm going to change the name of the file depending on how I'm saving it in my computer. And again, as you can notice, so mine has all small letters, and for the DTA file also they all have small letters, just it happened to be the case. Okay, if you're going to use a DTA file, in your case it's going to have like capital letter for the C and the D. It's just a copy of my file, but it happens to have capital letters. I just saved it one time and also just notice I have here as -3. So just make sure that you keep exactly the same name that you have, or if you want to save it as just college distance small letters, then it's perfectly fine. But if you're going to use exactly the name I gave it to you, then just keep exactly the same way I'm writing it. The third option is if you're going to use Excel. I personally don't like to use Excel because it introduces so many complications, especially if it is a very simple data set. Because as you know, like Excel sheet will have like different sheets. So you can have sheet 1 and sheet 2 and sheet 3. Sometimes data will not understand which sheet are you using until you specify it. Sometimes data will not understand which row you want to use until you specify it. So it just like it has more options, especially it's going to be useful if you're using more expanded version of the data set that we have, or you're using many sheets on an Excel file. If you're just using a very simple one like the one that we have, then you're just, I find it easier to use either a CSV file or a DTA file. But you have it here as in Excel format in case you want to use it. Again, I'm having it with a star at the beginning because I just don't want to be imported 3 times and Stata will give me an error message that you already have data imported. So here, if it is in Excel, then it's going to be import Excel using, and then the same path that I have, but then I'm going to change the name depending on how I have it saved on my computer, and then it's the latest version of Excel, XLSX, and then I'm specifying that the variables are in the first row, because Stata will not understand exactly, do you mean like the first row is the variable names or the second row? So you have just to make it easier on Stata to find the names of the variables on the first row. If you don't have the first row, then Stata will call your variables as v1, v2, v3, v4, which is, let's say, for variable number 1, variable number 2, variable number 3, variable number 4, and then you will have to rename all of these v's into the names of the variables that you have. So just to make your life easy, just tell Stata it's the first row. Okay, so again, I use the CSV file. You don't have to use the CSV file, but I just want to show you that if you are using it as, let's say, a DTA file, then you just, okay, highlight it, and then Stata will read the variables here. If you want to use it as an Excel, make sure that I'm going to clear, so that Stata will not tell me that I have variables on file. So that means I'm clearing, I have removed all the data, and then I'm just going to show you if I'm using the Excel, and using the Excel again would give you the variables here. Okay, and if you're going to use the CSV as I did at the beginning, again just clear. Okay, and it's cleared from here, and then you're going to use a CSV as I did at the beginning. Okay, so it's just different ways of importing. Again, I will keep on using CSV, so I just want to make all of these in green so it won't get executed. I just wanted to show it to you in case you want to use different variables. I mean different data sets, different data set format. Okay, make sure that anytime you change anything, you just save. Okay, so I was highlighting and executing because I was showing you specific commands. But again, the most important thing about the do file is that it makes your life easy because you write everything and then it's executed all at once. I've been showing you that we have been kind of highlighting and executing, highlighting and executed, because I wanted to show you to use step by step. But we can just, without highlighting anything, we just can let Stata run the whole thing. Okay, so the other thing I wanted to tell you is just notice everything that is in green, it will not be executed in Stata. So sometimes I can write anything on the do file. If you want to ask me any question about your do file, just make sure that you precede your comment by a star, and then you write whatever you like, and then when you go to the next sentence, just precede it with a star and then write whatever you like. In this do file, I made your life easy where I added for you all the answers. Okay, so whatever you have on green, like in green on this do file, will show you the answers. And I'm writing to you in terms of questions. So this is for question number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Okay, so the last thing I wanted to tell you is now I have my data set is already in here, right? And let me show you if I run everything. So I'm just going to clear, right? I'm going to clear the, you know what, I'm going just to put a star before log close, because Stata will tell me you don't have any log file open yet because I haven't clicked on this one yet, right? If I have clicked on this one, then Stata will tell me that okay, I will close for you the log file. Okay, so this is the log file where it saves all my answers, all my commands and the answers and so on. So let's see if I just put this one in green and then just click on everything. So it's just going to be executed. So you will get everything right here, right? So all the answers that you will have, all the comments, all the commands that you wrote, and all your comments are already in here. You're lucky because this is just a very small, very short do file where you will get everything like when you scroll here. But sometimes when it's too much, right, you will need to go back where you have saved your do file and try to get it back. So if you go to your path, if I go to users, my documents and data file, I will find this file where it includes everything. okay? And it's a text file, so don't get confused. It's basically a text file where it includes all your commands and the answers, which is basically what you have right here, which is when you scroll down. Okay, all right everyone, so I will keep posting other videos related to Stata practice.